Capricorn, stop scrolling right now. Because July 27th is not an ordinary day, and somewhere deep inside you already know it. Something is shifting around you. Unseen, unspoken, but undeniably real. And today the universe has aligned something specifically for you. Before this video ends, I'm going to reveal the spiritual signs you cannot ignore. The hidden blessing quietly making its way to you. The opportunity you don't want to miss. And one warning that could change everything if you overlook it. 1. Why? July 27th. Carries extraordinary spiritual energy, Capricorn. If the last few weeks have felt strange to you, heavier in some moments, strangely peaceful in others, you are not imagining it. Your spirit has been picking up on something your mind hasn't caught up to yet. You've been restless. Maybe you've woken up in the middle of the night for no clear reason. Maybe you found yourself staring out a window, lost in thought about a life you haven't lived yet. Maybe old memories have resurfaced, people, places, choices, as if your soul is quietly reviewing everything before moving forward. That restlessness has a purpose. It is not random, it is preparation. You are known as the builder of the Zodiac, the one who climbs slowly, carefully, mountain by mountain, never asking for applause, never expecting shortcuts. But even mountains have seasons. And right now, the ground beneath you is shifting, not to shake your foundation, but to make room for something new to be built upon it. Today carries a rare kind of cosmic timing. Energies that rarely align are converging quietly above you, unnoticed by most of the world, but deeply felt by those willing to listen. And you, Capricorn, have always been someone who listens, even when you pretend not to. This isn't about luck. This is about timing, divine timing, the kind that doesn't announce itself with fireworks, but arrives softly, almost like a whisper you could miss if you're not paying attention. And that's exactly why I need you to stay with me. Because what happens in the next few minutes may explain everything you've been feeling and reveal what's coming next. 2. The hidden door that begins opening today. Here's something most people won't tell you, Capricorn. Doors rarely open loudly. Most of the time they open in silence, in the background of ordinary days, while we're too busy or too distracted to notice. Today one of those doors begins to open for you. You may not see it fully yet. It might not look like an opportunity at first. It could look like a passing thought, a small conversation, an unexpected message, or a moment of clarity that arrives out of nowhere. But underneath the surface, something is shifting in your favor. This shift may touch your career, a direction you've been quietly considering, a role you didn't think you were ready for, a shift you've been afraid to make, or it may reach into your finances, easing pressure that has weighed on you for longer than you've admitted out loud. It could also be more personal than that. A relationship that needs honesty, a boundary that needs to be set, a piece of your own confidence that has been buried under responsibility, waiting to be uncovered again. You've spent so much time proving yourself to others, Capricorn, to employers, to family, to people who never truly understood how much you carry. But this door isn't opening because of what you've proven. It's opening because of who you are becoming. And I promise you, what's behind that door is more meaningful than you expect. But before you can walk through it, there's something you need to recognize first. Something the universe is already showing you, if you know where to look. 3 spiritual signs you must not ignore, Capricorn. The universe rarely shouts. It nudges, it whispers. And today there are 3 signs you need to pay close attention to, because each one carries a message meant only for you. The first sign, repeating numbers. If you've noticed the same numbers appearing again and again, on a clock, a receipt, a license plate, a notification, this is not coincidence. Repeating numbers are one of the oldest spiritual signals of alignment. They appear when your path and your purpose are beginning to sync. When you see them today, don't dismiss it as chance. Pause. Breathe. Recognize that you are being noticed by something greater than the everyday noise of life. The second sign. An unexpected conversation. Someone may say something today that feels oddly specific, a sentence that lingers, a question that makes you think deeper than you planned to. This is not random small talk. Sometimes the universe speaks through other people without them even realizing it. If a conversation today stays with you longer than it should, that's your sign to listen closer. The third sign, a sudden wave of clarity. This might be the most powerful of the three. A moment today where confusion suddenly lifts, where something you've been wrestling with for weeks, a decision, a doubt, a fear, suddenly feels simple. That clarity is not luck. It's your intuition finally being heard above the noise of everyday stress. Capricorn, these signs are not meant to frighten you. They are meant to reassure you. Proof that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, even if the picture isn't complete yet. But recognizing the signs is only the beginning, because what happens next requires something harder than noticing. It requires releasing. 4. The emotional release that changes everything. Here is a truth about you, Capricorn, that few people understand. You carry more than you show. You've mastered the art of appearing calm, composed, dependable, even when your inner world is far heavier than anyone realizes. But today asks something different of you. Not more strength, not more control. Release somewhere inside you. There is a weight you've been holding on to. Guilt over a decision you can't undo. Regret over words you wish you hadn't said. Fear about a future you can't fully predict. You've carried it quietly, the way you carry everything, believing that if you just hold on a little longer, it will somehow resolve itself. But Capricorn, some things aren't meant to be carried forever. Some weights are only meant to teach you a lesson. And once the lesson is learned, holding on longer only blocks what's meant to come next. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending the pain never happened. It means finally allowing yourself to set it down, even for a moment, so your hands are free to receive something new. Think about what you've been holding on to the longest. The apology you never received. The chapter that ended before you were ready. The version of yourself you thought you'd be by now. Today, quietly, without needing anyone's permission, you are invited to release it. Because on the other side of that release is space. Space for new blessings, new peace, and a chance you didn't even know you were waiting for. And that chance is closer than you think. 5. A powerful opportunity is quietly approaching Capricorn. Something is moving toward you right now, even as you watch this. Not loudly, not obviously, but steadily. The way all meaningful things arrive in your life. In the coming days, an opportunity may present itself in a form you don't immediately recognize. It might come disguised as a simple invitation, a random idea, a passing suggestion from someone who has no idea how important their words will become. This is exactly why so many blessings pass people by. Because they're waiting for something dramatic, something unmistakable. When in truth, the most powerful opportunities often arrive dressed as ordinary moments. You, more than most signs, have a habit of overthinking your instincts. You question them. You want proof before you trust anything. But this time, Capricorn, I want you to try something different. Trust the instinct before you have all the answers. If something feels right, even if it's unfamiliar, even if it doesn't fit the plan you had in your head, pay attention. If a name crosses your mind unexpectedly, reach out. If an idea excites you more than it should, follow it a little further than you normally would. This isn't about abandoning your caution. It's about balancing it with faith. Because what's approaching you now was not placed in your path by accident. But there is one thing that could cause you to miss it entirely. And it's something so easy to fall into that I need to warn you about it directly. 6. The one mistake that could delay your blessing, Capricorn. I have to be honest with you here because this part matters more than almost anything else in this video. The biggest risk to you right now isn't bad luck. It isn't a bad decision. It's self-doubt disguised as caution. You are so used to protecting yourself from disappointment that sometimes you talk yourself out of things before you even give them a real chance. You convince yourself it's just being realistic, when really, it's fear wearing a familiar mask. Today and in the days ahead, that pattern could quietly cost you something meaningful. Not because you did something wrong, but because you hesitated on something right. Watch for the moment when your first instinct is excitement, and your second thought is doubt. That gap between the two is where blessings often get lost. Not because they disappear, but because you talk yourself out of reaching for them, another mistake to be mindful of. Reacting emotionally in a moment that calls for patience. If frustration rises today, or an old wound gets triggered by something small, resist the urge to respond immediately. Give yourself space before you speak, decide, or close a door that isn't meant to be closed yet. Capricorn, this isn't a warning meant to scare you. It's meant to protect you. Because what's coming deserves your full presence, not a version of you clouded by fear or impulsive frustration. And now it's time for something deeper, a message meant only for you. 7. Your spiritual message from the universe, Capricorn. If no one has told you this recently, let me be the one to say it. You are doing better than you think you are. You've spent so long being the responsible one, the steady one, the person others lean on, without ever asking if you have anything left to give. You rarely complain. You rarely ask for help, and because of that, people often forget how much strength it takes to hold everything together the way you do. But you were never meant to carry it all alone, and the universe hasn't forgotten you. Not even in the moments you felt most invisible. This message is simple, but I need you to really receive it. Your effort has not gone unnoticed. Your patience has not been wasted. Every quiet sacrifice, every night you kept going when it would have been easier to give up, all of it has been building towards something. You don't need to force the next chapter of your life into existence through sheer willpower alone. You are allowed to trust that some things are already in motion on your behalf. You are allowed to rest without feeling guilty. You are allowed to hope without immediately preparing for disappointment. Have faith, not blind faith, but grounded faith, the kind that trusts the process even without seeing the full outcome yet. Be patient with timing you cannot control. Be courageous enough to accept good things without picking them apart first. And above all, be grateful, because gratitude is often the very thing that opens the door to more. You are supported, Capricorn, more than you realize. And what's coming next will remind you of exactly that. 8. The final revelation. Capricorn, everything you've heard today connects to one single truth. July 27th is not the destination. It's the beginning. The restlessness you've felt, the signs quietly appearing around you, the emotional weight you're finally ready to release, the opportunity making its way toward you, the mistake you now know to avoid. None of these exist on their own. They are all part of one unfolding chapter. And today is simply where that chapter begins to turn. You are not the same person you were a year ago. You've grown in ways even you may not fully recognize yet. And the version of you, stepping into what comes next, is stronger, wiser, and more ready than you give yourself credit for. This shift isn't asking you to have everything figured out. It's asking you to keep walking, keep trusting, and keep showing up, because that has always been your greatest strength. Whatever comes next, Capricorn, walk into it with your head high and your heart open. You've earned this moment more than you know. If you feel this message was meant for you, Capricorn, let the universe know you're listening. Comment, "I am ready," if you're embracing this shift with an open heart. If this video brought you comfort, clarity, or hope, take a moment to like it. And if you want to make sure you never miss your next spiritual message, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the universe rarely changes everything all at once. Most of the time it simply whispers first, and today, Capricorn, that whisper was meant for you.